If big cats exist, why aren't there big dogs? You know, I've always wondered this because even in like folklore, well, not really folklore, but they have like wargs or dire wolves or like, you know, those dire creatures which are bigger versions. Cats already have that. Why do cats get to have, like, even lizards have a dire creature? It's called an alligator or crocodile. Why is it dogs don't have their own version? And no, Great Danes do not count. They're just dogs, just a little bigger. They're just dogs. But yeah, it's like cats have their own a bigger version, their own dire version. Tigers, leopards, bobcats, whatever, or leopards. No. I think puma and jaguar and panther are all the same, right? Those are three names for the same animal. I don't know. I know one has like three names. But yeah, why is it cats are special? Why not dogs? I would love myself a big dog. I would well, maybe not. I probably wouldn't be allowed to keep them around the house. I probably wouldn't be allowed to keep them around the house. Are bears big dogs? I don't think so.
Picture a tiger, 600 pounds of muscle, capable of dragging a water buffalo through mud with little struggle. Now picture the biggest wild dog on the planet. Go ahead, try. Most people land on the gray wolf, the largest wild canid alive today, and it tops out around 175 pounds on a big day. If we're talking about domesticated dogs, the biggest English Mastiff ever recorded tops out at...
The funny thing is my dog weighs at around 120 pounds. My dog. He's just, yeah, he's just a mutt though. He's just a mutt. He's a mix of breeds.
At around 343 pounds. That is nowhere near the weight of a tiger, much less the weight of a fully grown lion. Somewhere on this planet, evolution built a 600-pound large cat with muscles that would make any bodybuilder jealous. But it never bothered building a large dog to match it. That should feel strange, because cats and dogs go together, right? Same basic toolkit of teeth, claws, and instinct. They split off from a shared ancestor and went their separate ways, and only one branch decided to go big. Why would nature build a heavyweight boxer out of one family and leave the other stuck in the middleweight division forever? For a while, scientists thought the honest answer was, it just hadn't happened yet. Nobody had really dug into it. And then people started actually running the numbers, and what they found wasn't a gap in the fossil record. It was a wall. A hard, physical limit that dogs seem to have hit again and again, no matter how many millions of years they were given to break through it. Start with the claws. A tiger's claws are retractable. They stay sheathed, protected, razor-sharp, until the exact moment of the kill. A wolf's claws are out all the time, blunted by the ground, built more like cleats than knives. That single difference changes everything about how each animal is allowed to hunt. A cat can rely on one devastating ambush. Sprint, pounce, claws out, throat clamps shut in seconds.
I do like the child drawings. I do really enjoy the child drawings. Just the eyes of the deer are just perfect.
A dog physically cannot do that. Its claws aren't sharp enough to hold a struggling animal 3 times its size. So a dog has to solve the same problem a different way. Not with one perfect strike, but with a chase. Wolves, African wild dogs, dholes. They run their prey into exhaustion. Sometimes for miles, sometimes for hours, until the animal simply can't keep moving. And here's the part that should stop you. Size is an advantage in an ambush. It is a liability in a marathon. Every extra pound of muscle a wolf carries costs it in stamina. A heavier body overheats faster, burns through energy faster, tires faster. If you've ever noticed that elite marathon runners are lean and elite powerlifters are enormous, you've already seen this rule play out in your own species. Evolution ran the same experiment on dogs and landed on the same conclusion. Bulk doesn't win an endurance hunt, it loses it. So while cats kept getting rewarded for going bigger, dogs kept getting punished for it. That alone would explain a lot. But it still doesn't explain why nothing ever slipped through. Why not even one canid species, out of thousands over tens of millions of years, managed to become a 500-pound endurance predator built different from the rest? And that's where the story gets a lot stranger, because something almost did. About 9 million years ago in North America, there was an animal called Epicyon hyedini. It belonged to a now extinct group called the Borophaginae, sometimes nicknamed the bone-crushing dogs. And it was massive. Some individuals are estimated at 200 to 300 pounds.
You know, you said bear. Just seeing this rendition right here, I think you were right. Even though it's just a child's drawing, it looks like a bear.
Massive. Some individuals are estimated at 200 to 300 pounds, built with a skull and jaw structure so heavy that early paleontologists genuinely mistook its fossils for a bear. This wasn't a modern dog. It wasn't even in the same lineage as wolves and foxes, but it was a true canid, and for a while it looked like it might be the one. It had the size. It had bone-crushing bite force strong enough to shatter the leg of a prehistoric horse. For a few million years, Epicyon hyedani was arguably the most dominant land predator in North America, rivaling anything the cat family had produced up to that point. And then it vanished. Completely. Along with the entire Borophagenae line it belonged to. So what happened to the one dog that almost broke the rule? The leading explanation is brutal in its simplicity. Epicyon wasn't outfought. It was outcompeted for food by cats. As true feline ambush predators spread across North America, they were simply more efficient at converting a kill into calories. One perfect pounce burns far less energy than a prolonged chase, especially for an animal already carrying 250 pounds of bulk it now had to fuel. Epicyon had grown into a body built for a hunting style, the sprint and tackle style, that its own biology, blunt claws, dog-shaped shoulders, wasn't actually built to support as well as a cat's was. It had scaled up without ever solving the claw problem. And in a world with limited large prey, that inefficiency was a death sentence. The cats simply ate better, more consistently, for less effort. Cats simply ate better. Efficiency was a
Honestly,
death
this drawing looks like a capybara. Just remove the tail. Just remove the tail and it looks almost like a capybara.
sentence. The cats simply ate better, more consistently, for less effort, and over enough generations, that difference was the whole game. It's almost poetic. The one time a dog-like animal genuinely rivaled the size of a big cat, it collapsed for the exact reason cats and dogs
Yeah,
diverged in the first place. Size without the right tools isn't an advantage. It's just a bigger mouth to feed. Meanwhile, the ancestors of modern wolves were doing something that looked, on paper, far less impressive. They stayed small, they stayed social, and they leaned all the way into the one advantage a mid-sized predator has that a solitary giant never will: numbers. A single 100-pound wolf can't take down a bull elk. A pack of 8 can, and they can do it without any individual animal needing to carry the size, the risk, or the caloric cost of doing it alone. The pack itself became the size. Cooperation did the job that bulk does for a tiger. And once that strategy locked in, there was almost no evolutionary pressure pushing wolves to get bigger at all. Why risk the joints, the metabolism, the sheer caloric demand of a 400-pound body when 6 90-pound bodies working together can bring down the same prey with a wider margin for error? This is the same logic researchers point to when they explain why lions, of all big cats, are the one glaring exception. Lions are the only cat species that regularly hunts in groups. And not coincidentally, they're also one of the few cats that didn't need retractable stealth to succeed, because the pride does for lions roughly what the pack does for wolves.
The one in the middle just looks a little retarded. The eyes are just a little too big and too far apart. One of them, I guess, is dead because its eyes are X'd out.
Wolves. Take away the group and give a cat only the tools of a solitary ambush predator, and biology pushes it toward exactly what we see in tigers, leopards, and jaguars: bulk, power, silence, and a single, decisive strike. Take away the tools of ambush and give a dog only the tools of an endurance hunter, and biology pushes it toward exactly what we see in wolves and wild dogs: leanness, stamina, and cooperation. Two completely different answers to the same problem. How do you become the apex predator in your ecosystem? One family solved it by getting bigger. The other solved it by getting smarter about who it hunted with. And once a lineage commits hard enough to one of those strategies, it becomes almost impossible to walk it back. A wolf built for a 30-mile chase can't suddenly evolve tiger claws in a few thousand generations. And there's one more twist buried in this story that trips up almost everyone who looks into it: hyenas. Spotted hyenas hunt in coordinated packs, run prey down over long distances, and look.
What are hyenas? Are they dogs or cats? I've never known. I guess I'll find out right now. I've never known because they're just...
By any reasonable description, like a rangy, muscular dog. If any animal on Earth looks like the missing big dog, it's a hyena. Except a hyena isn't a dog at all. Genetically, hyenas split off closer to cats, cheetahs, and mongooses than they ever did to wolves. They sit on the feliform branch of the carnivore family tree, the cat side, not the caniform branch that dogs and bears belong to. The one animal that looks the most like a giant, pack-hunting dog has been standing on the cat side of the fence this entire time. A tiger built for one perfect ambush can't suddenly evolve pack instincts without giving up the very traits that made it dominant in the first place. Every giant dog breed you've ever seen,
Wolves
the
look
Great
big.
Danes, the Irish Wolfhounds, the English Mastiffs,
I've never seen them
exist
close.
entirely because of us. They are not the product of millions of years of ecological pressure. They're the product of a few thousand years of humans selecting for size in an animal that evolution had already decided
Now I want a dog that big.
should stay small. Strip away human breeding and drop a Great Dane back into the wild, and its body has none of the adaptations that let a wolf run for hours or a tiger kill in seconds. It's a genetic shortcut, built by us, not by the forces that built every other giant predator on Earth. So the question was never really why don't big dogs exist? One did. It ruled an entire continent for millions of years, and it lost, not to a rival predator that outfought it, but to a smaller, sharper-clawed animal that simply did the same job more efficiently. Meanwhile, the family that never tried to get big at all is...
So cats are the reason we don't have big dogs around. Big dog. But cats are the reason. Of course they are. Of course they are. They hunted everything out as the endurance predators were chasing it as the stealth hunter just waited for it to run past and then catching the prey that had been running to an end. And of course, the one that had been running forever will not fight the cat that just sprang out and took its kill because it's already tired.
Still here, still hunting, still running prey into the ground 1 mile at a time, exactly the same way it has for millions of years. Sometimes the animal that survives isn't the one that got the biggest. It's the one that figured out what it was actually built for and never stopped doing it.
This is what $2.4 billion gets you in.
Oh my gosh. It goes straight to the next one. Straight to the next one. Yeah. I do gotta say, it is fascinating because, again, why don't we have big dogs? I guess that explains it, because I always enjoy, like, literature where it goes into, like, the dire species of creatures. Of course, they're a lot more violent and give you more experience points or magic depending on the series you're reading. So, going back to the last video, I guess. Yeah, I think that's actually enjoyable. That's actually enjoyable. It's always nice to learn something, but it always is tragic to see something like that. Something so... But then again, I've never seen a living dinosaur before, except in, like, Jurassic Park, and now they're saying that isn't even historically accurate. They actually had feathers on, because apparently, well, the only dinosaur I've seen is when I go into my dad's garden. There is one rooster that will always charge at me. All the rest are fine. One rooster will charge at me, and you have to punt it. You literally have to punt it. You have to become Chicken Chaser from a Fable. You punt the chicken, and then he leaves you alone. Then he leaves you alone. That's how it works. That is how it works. But that's the thing. It's just like, it's I wish I could have seen some of these creatures. Like, so many things have died out. Honestly, there are so many things that are out in nature that I've never personally seen. We're still discovering creatures at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, it's always so fascinating, like, all this stuff that is just... It's exciting, but I'd never go into the bottom of the ocean. I'd be too terrified. I'd be way too terrified. I'd be fear of getting crushed, fear of the unknown, the fact that there are probably as many organisms down in the depths of the ocean that we don't know exist outside above the ocean surface on the ground, like, that we don't know. It's truly unfathomable. That it's crazy. It's incredible. But I still would love to literally see some of these things in their natural habitat. Maybe at some point in time. Well, I don't think we'd ever actually be able to see a truly unbiased rendition unless we literally went back in time. Because even if we tried to do, like, one of the most unbiased AIs to kind of re-render what these skeletal structure, their habitat, their DNA, what their blood would look like, all that kind of stuff, it would still not get it accurately. It would still not get it accurately. It's crazy. New animal and bird. I mean, yeah, new birds all the time, but they just always get new location to new location. That rooster challenged you to be only one alpha male and farm. The thing is, that rooster always forgets. It always forgets. So the next time you walk into the cage, he charges at you again. Always trying to challenge you for rulership. One of these days, I just need to get a video of him charging at me, posting it. That way everyone knows, everyone sees I have proof of a raptor chasing me. Yes, I'd be calling him a raptor. Because I've gotten video of, like, the peacock that is around my dad's garden, but I never gotten the chicken that's charging at me. I've never gotten the chicken that's charging at me. I think it'd be funny. And then I have to punt it.
You guys got a video? It's so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait like that.